How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Joe, your host for today's electric episode, as we cover what is Ethereum, arguably the most popular altcoin that has been around in force since the last bull run. What is it? Why is it valuable? And what does that mean for you and the rest of the world as the Ethereum network continues its effect throughout the industrial and enterprise world, and what is it going to change? So what I'm going to do is walk you through a couple different pieces of information, both from their website and in general, just to give you a little bit of a visual of how Ethereum stacks up currently in the space it's trying to take over. And ultimately, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. If you find this video helpful, be sure to drop a like and share it with whoever you can so we know what the fuck we're investing in, because God forbid we have another dip like we just did over the past week and everyone panics because they don't know why their money are in these investments aside from the fact that they're FOMOing in. That's what we aim to avoid. And just to kick us off here, I'm just going to mention real quick, our dearest friend, Bitcoin, back from the grave for the 400th time, currently trading around $48.3 thousand. You will have seen a lot of people in the news recently come out and say, oh, flash crash, Bitcoin's dead for the millionth time. It's not. We're fine. It had a lot to do with mining pools, the people that gathered together to mine the Bitcoin, selling it off. They were dumping it out towards the end of the month, and we'll likely see a similar scenario unfold in March. So it's better to be mentally prepared for that. But if you experienced your first dip, congratulations, as long as you held tight, because we are on our way back up. For Ethereum in general, though, it has been around since 2013 was when the white paper came out. And Vitalik Buterin, who I'm hoping I pronounced both his first and last name correctly, he was one of the original founders that put out the white paper for Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin. And he is still the main developer that oversees the Ethereum product, as well as the network and the cryptocurrency in general. There were a couple other main founders. They left the Ethereum project to go on to found their own cryptocurrencies, which ironically turn out to be the main competitors for Ethereum. It will continue to be over the course of the next couple years. For those ones specifically, we'll make separate videos on them. But Ethereum was the one that started all of this decentralized finance talk beyond Bitcoin. Because for Bitcoin, it was originally a currency that was developed to get away from the US dollar, and it could hold a certain amount of value. But aside from that, it didn't really have any use cases. You couldn't build anything on top of it. Obviously, you can't manipulate it and generate more of it. So it was very limited in its capabilities. And some of the other earliest cryptocurrencies were just carbon copy cutouts of Bitcoin trying to just do the exact same thing. And Bitcoin being the superior store of value with its supply and demand model and that stock to flow that we covered in the What is Bitcoin video previously, it was the clear winner of that space. When Ethereum came out, it was the first blockchain where you had the ability to build on top of it. It wasn't just a store of value, it wasn't just a currency, but it had interoperability that allowed you to create, whether it's decentralized applications or businesses or additional blockchains or cryptocurrencies, you could build that on top of the network. On their website, I'm going to cover just the basics and how that operates and explain what the Ethereum that you're buying or that the average retail or institutional investor is purchasing on exchanges like Coinbase or Binance. Now, I did want to take just a brief second to point out that overall, when you look at the largest banks in the world by market cap, Bitcoin, essentially allowing you to be your own bank, has the highest market cap or amount of money within that system comparatively to anyone else. But what most people don't understand is that Ethereum, right here at its unmarked number 5, is right up there with $174 billion currently locked in value within that network. Now, it's obviously not a traditional bank. They don't have like shareholders or a CEO and company board that put your transactions through or can decide in a moment's notice that you aren't allowed to use it. However, I did find this very interesting as it updates how quickly Ethereum has climbed this chart and what you're going to see over the course of this year and over the course of the next couple of years in the following 4-year bull run. Many other cryptocurrencies will continue to eclipse these banks on this list just due to the overall access and the people that can utilize these networks on a global scale. And secondly, just the amount of adoption that is going to flow in from centralized banking to continue to prop up those cryptocurrencies. Now, on Ethereum's main website, this is on ethereum.org, and we can put a link to this down in the description of the video so that you could go in and interact with this website just to familiarize yourself. You, at least, I'm going to make a generalization here, and I can speak about myself as well. You're probably not going to be a blockchain developer or a code engineer or someone that's going to just jump in and start building upon the Ethereum network. But it's still important, since you're purchasing the cryptocurrency that powers this network, that you understand all the different things that this system can do. Now, again, I am no financial advisor by any means, so this is solely for educational purposes. One thing you're going to find on our channel is I'm not going to sit here like everyone else and say, well, holy shit, I think it's going to hit $25,000 by the end of the year. Could it? I don't know, possibly. But I am not an oracle. I cannot see the future. I'm not going to mislead anyone. You should be able to, the more you educate yourself, extrapolate the important data and compare and contrast what the current markets are in centralized finance and see the value of them, and be able to see, well, if X percentage of people move into decentralized finance, here's what I believe Ethereum could be worth. And on that note, real quick, to go back and just to highlight one point, with any cryptocurrency, you have a total amount of circulating supply. So right now, whereas Bitcoin has 21 million Bitcoin in total, you have 114 million and change Ethereum tokens. Now, those tokens are valuable not only due to the scarcity of it, but it also has a utility case where they're burned as you use them. So that supply can also diminish over time depending on the use of a cryptocurrency. You'll see that those supplies can fluctuate. And some of the ones that we're going to cover, by design, they actually burn some of the coins, either to increase the value of the coins or to do it for the health of their specific ecosystem or blockchain. But I did want to point that out. There is that set supply of 114 million. And institutions are buying them up as well by the billions, including Grayscale, which is a massive trust in the United States that has been purchasing Bitcoin. Ethereum's also on their list, and they're buying it by the thousands of Ethereum. So it's definitely on their radar. But let's talk about what is Ethereum. So Ethereum is a community-run technology powering the cryptocurrency Ether and the thousands of decentralized applications built upon the Ethereum network. So what is it continued? Ethereum is a technology that's home to digital money, global payments, and applications. The community has built a booming digital economy, bold new ways for creators to earn online, and so much more. It's open to everyone, wherever you are in the world. All that you need is the internet. And that goes back to when we talk about decentralized finance. The number one thing about it, it's permissionless. So no one's going to say, you're too poor, or no, our country isn't going to allow you to do that. As long as you have internet connection, you can access the Ethereum network. So in design, it is meant to make a fairer financial system, this network. So as you build it out, think about it almost like whether it's the internet or banking institutions, this network online is accessible to everyone. And in its design, you're allowing people to participate in a way that they couldn't prior. Today, billions of people can't open bank accounts. Others have their payments blocked. Ethereum's decentralized finance system never sleeps or discriminates. With just an internet connection, you can send, receive, borrow, earn interest, and even stream funds to anywhere in the world. And if you remember another point that I made, about approximately 1.4 billion people on the planet are considered unbanked. Now, that means that they don't have a bank account, but I'm not just talking about the paranoid people that stuff their mattress with their dollar bills because they're afraid someone's going to break into the bank and steal all their shit. I'm talking about people that couldn't, even if they had money, even if they wanted to put it in a savings account or a checking account or go apply for credit, they just do not have access to that sort of financial system that we all take for granted. So this is going to help combat that. Another thing it enables is an open internet. So today we gain access to free internet services by giving up control of our personal data. So for all you Facebookers out there and your phone's listening in and giving you very direct advertisement just because you mentioned something in passing to your roommate that's sitting in the kitchen, that's how they make their money. You are the product and they farm your information and sell you things or sell your data to other people designed to either sell you things or steer you in a certain direction. So the Ethereum services are open by default. All you need is a wallet. And we'll cover wallets in separate videos, and I'm going to mention it a little bit here in a second. These are free and easy to set up, controlled by you, and work without any personal info. So again, we go back to, although this information is public, like I can see what wallet I'm sending my Bitcoin or Ethereum to, I can't see their personal information, nor do they have to provide it to me. So also, for anyone that is a little bit more savvy in technology and computers, it's a new frontier for development as well. So when we talk about business growth and innovation, oftentimes it's stifled, especially in places that have these large corporate infrastructures that, you go to any major city in the world and you're like, yeah, we have Verizon, which sucks. And we have Comcast, which sucks, and they don't pick up the phone. And that's who you get to choose from. But on the Ethereum network, if you have a better solution, if you have a product, if you have a business, you can build it, people can participate in it, and they can't come and shut that down because it's completely decentralized. They would have to shut down every computer in the network simultaneously in order to corrupt that data or to block you, and they're not going to have the ability to do that. So it really opens up a giant playground for innovation for the betterment of everyone else that participates in our society. Currently, Ethereum's valued right around $1,524 at this moment. Right back in December, it was at about $700. Its highest peak in 2017 was right around $1,400. And we got up to about $2,000 and change right before this quick flash crash correction, however you want to title what occurred, and it's slowly inching its way back up from its recent low last week of $1,200. So the transaction speed is still slow. It does about 1.2 million per day, well, at least up to today, but typically, at least the numbers that I saw, and I can't find anything else that extends this. It's about 1.4 million per day worth of transactions that are going through. And they're working on extending that. They're still in the process of breaking that blockchain down and scaling it in a process known as sharding, which is I'm not getting technical because not only am I not a financial advisor, I am not a programmer either. But it's just where you section off different databases or different pieces of the blockchain so that it's not all overloaded constantly in one place, so it's not as congested, although it doesn't damage the integrity of the blockchain. They have about $40 billion locked up in their decentralized cryptocurrencies that operate on the system. And the number of nodes, these are the main people that validate the network all around the world and make sure that you can't have it, hacked in by one location, such as a bank, or most recently, our U.S. Treasury was hacked by, I believe, the Russians. Can't do that when you have all those computers all over the world. Now, when it comes to an additional background of what is Ethereum. So Ethereum is an open access digital money and data friendly service for everyone, no matter your background or location. It's a community built technology behind the cryptocurrency ETH or Ether and thousands of applications that you can use today. So what this system allows is banking for everyone. So not everyone has access to financial services like we said before, but all you need to do is have access to Ethereum and its lending and borrowing and saving products just through an internet connection. Now, you're going to have people say, well, you're telling me these poor or destitute people around the world are going to have a smartphone? Well, no, maybe they won't, but I'll tell you what, if they have a smartphone right now, they still can't fucking bank. So I don't know what type of point you're trying to make aside from how corrupt the current system is or the disparity between populations. So I do think this is necessary. It creates a more private internet. So instead of providing all your personal details to use this app, you can build upon it without being surveilled like every other major social media network or platform that you can currently build on the internet in its current state. So it's a peer-to-peer network. So you can pay people directly with no middleman, and you don't have to rely on someone else pushing that payment through. We have those smart contracts that will see those transactions through without any sort of bias. Censorship resistant. And I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but no government or company or CEO has control over this network. The decentralization makes it nearly impossible for anyone to stop you from receiving payments or using services on Ethereum. Typically, if anyone I've talked to loses their money, it's because they typed in a wallet address incorrectly or they made a mistake when they were sending something, but it's not going to be because the network either failed or it shut down or it was hacked. Commerce guarantees. So Ethereum creates a more level playing field. Customers have a secure built-in guarantee that funds will only change hands if you provide what was agreed upon. You don't need a large company to do this. So it's making sure that if you're transacting either goods for Ethereum or these different things, those transactions for cryptocurrency aren't going to go through unless the other side has what needs to be met to fulfill that agreement. And it's compatible with many different things because you can build upon Ethereum. So if Ethereum needs to connect to something or if it needs to scale or expand, that's good. Bring out your computer engineering toolkit, or in this case, someone smarter than me will do that, and build a second, third, fourth layer solution on top of that to start plugging into different things so you have more interoperability. So a couple things that we're going to cover. So what is the actual cryptocurrency that you buy? What are the wallets and where can you find them? And then just some of the decentralized applications. Make sure I'm not missing anything else for you guys. So right now, the currency that runs this system is ETH, sometimes referred to as Ether, most of the times just referred to as Ethereum. So Ethereum in and of itself as a cryptocurrency is what incentivizes these computers to complete a certain task. Because if you remember, there is no person in between. There is no banker. There is no Mark Zuckerberg. There is no CEO. There is no JP Morgan. There's no one pushing the button when you send money. They have to push the button to send it to someone else and they take their fees. Well, now you pay a certain amount of Ethereum to that network, and that is what incentivizes or pushes through those transactions. And the same thing occurs if you want to build your own website, if you want to build a business, if you want to integrate with another application and you build a second or third layer, the price that you pay is actually the cryptocurrency itself. And that is why it's so valuable, because if we go back and just revisit, there's about 114.8 million in circulation in that total supply. So the reason why these large organizations are out there buying it just as quickly as they're buying Bitcoin is because they want to participate in this new system. They want a head start to build as much as they possibly can and allow people to continue to integrate with them instead of taking all the innovation and all the cryptocurrency that allows it to run for themselves. And I get that. No organization is going to go out and buy up all the Ethereum. Too many people have it. I have it. So they're not going to be able to go and buy it all, but they can go out and buy some and participate. And no amount of fees, no amount of cost entry is going to deter them like it may deter you or it may deter me. And part of where Ethereum gets a little bit sticky is the fees are much, much higher. Since you're still scaling Ethereum and they don't have the full new updates rolled out, there's only so many transactions that are going through per day. And the fees, in order to build things or to use it on decentralized exchanges that are built upon Ethereum, they're astronomical. I was using Ethereum on a decentralized exchange known as Uniswap, and I'll actually show you what cryptocurrency that is just for reference. So it's actually one of the larger cryptocurrencies, but it's a decentralized exchange that allows you to trade other cryptocurrencies on it. And it runs on the Ethereum network. So I pay Ethereum to utilize this decentralized exchange. But for me to be able to utilize that exchange at some points, especially during the run-ups, it was costing me a couple $100. Just to maybe buy $100 of a different cryptocurrency, I might have to pay $300 worth of Ethereum. Then if I want to sell it, I got to pay that fee again. So it's not very practical in use right now for me. I am not a billionaire. I am not a billionaire institution. So they will find much more use for this in the short term. However, if you hold the cryptocurrency, since it is finite and there's only so much of it, that value will continue to increase. Although I do believe some of the congestion and some of the fees have stopped it from moving on the trajectory that most people expected it to. Most people anticipated around this time during this bull run, it should be around $3,000. And then if we go back and actually revisit where it was at in the previous bull run, we can see that at the absolute peak in 2017, it got up to about $1,400, but its cost in relation to how expensive Bitcoin was, it was pretty high up there. It was right around about a tenth of a Bitcoin at its height, about 0.12, so about 12%. Well, right now, it is worth about 4%, maybe a little bit less of a Bitcoin. And I believe that is both in combination with Bitcoin really differentiating itself as the number one crypto, the store of value, the most finite. So everyone's going to buy that one first, but also I think some of the fees and whatnot have hindered Ethereum. I am by no means a programmer, but those are my feelings, being someone that uses the network, being someone that has paid the fees, being someone that still owns Ethereum. Those are my frustrations with it. Now, as far as different wallets go, on this website, if you want to go in and look, there's a list of different features that you care about when selecting a virtual wallet. You can select those and they have a bunch of them listed out. I personally am not going to go into wallets in this one. There are several, both soft wallets and hard wallets, which is where you take your cryptocurrency offline altogether and put it in what's known as cold storage. So then that way, even if a full exchange goes down, the city of Pittsburgh gets hit by a fucking EMP and wipes out all electricity, it doesn't matter. I have my stuff and I can access as soon as I get back to the internet. But that's pretty complicated, pretty intimidating to people. So I'm not going to overload you in this video. But another big part of Ethereum and where a lot of these other cryptocurrencies that we'll be discussing come into play is you can provide a ton of different services and applications on this network because you're building as a network of individuals with different ideas and ways that we can expand upon the current system that we have in a decentralized scenario. So on this site, you can go in and look. There's a series of different, they have games, finance stuff. There's a big thing going on right now known as NFTs. It's basically digital art. A lot of it is holding its value very well right now. However, I think that most of it is going to be a little bit shaky, but hey, that's where people go. And in normal finance, fine art, it sells for tens of millions of dollars. So who am I to criticize? But some of the main applications that are being used are mostly meant for decentralized exchanges, different lending and borrowing applications, such as Aave and Compound or Uniswap, where if you use Coinbase, those three would all be familiar to you because they're actually listed on their exchange. I have owned and used these different applications. I purchased 1inch and I've used 1inch. All different cryptocurrencies in their own right with their own applications that I'll be covering separately, but they're all built upon the Ethereum network. So the more congested Ethereum gets and the more difficult it is to utilize that network for the everyday person, the more these ones may not pump as much. Aave, in and of itself, they are a lending cryptocurrency, just as if I was to go and get a loan from my bank, you can loan out cryptocurrency and set your own metrics. But when Ethereum shot through the roof and the fees were astronomical, people stopped using it, or at least they couldn't afford to. And that's why Aave stopped going up in price. It jumped from about $98 up to almost $550 over the course of about a week and a half. And then it stalled out because it became too expensive to use for the average person. So it becomes more and more complicated when you go through it. But I think that Ethereum is just a base metric for something that not only everyone's familiar with, but also something that I believe even with their issues in scaling right now will still be very successful. It was a good place for us to start in talking about alternative cryptocurrencies, and we'll be covering some of their main competitors, two of which were built by the very people that helped found Ethereum, and that is Cardano and Polkadot. So we'll be covering both of those separately as well and talk about the differences between how they operate, aside from Ethereum, some of the problems that they fixed, some of the things that people might have concerns over. And really, we're going to see who wins over the next 5 years. Is Ethereum going to be the MySpace of cryptocurrency, and Cardano or Polkadot, will they be the Facebook? We don't know yet. All we can do is look at the data and make the decisions based upon who is buying, who is using it, ease of use, utility, and how many are in circulation. And we make the best decisions that we can. Hopefully this introduction to Ethereum was helpful and informative for you without all that FOMO bullshit of, yeah, it's going to hit $1 million tomorrow. That's not what's important. What's important is you understand the value of what you're purchasing today so that you can make educated decisions. Aside from that, thanks for joining me on this episode of Viva La Coin, and I will see you guys next time.